Now this bag is called the BLACKHAWK STOMP medical coverage bag. It has a lot of compartments. It is jumpable, so if you are looking to jump from an aircraft, you can absolutely use that. The cubic inches is 2470. So it's very, very big, and you can put a lot of stuff in it. What I tried to do with this kit is to have two versions basically on the top, and I'll open this up and I'll show you. On the top is going to be your primary medical trauma stuff. You should not be looking around in the bag for anything. It should be right there, available, ready to grab. Now, I will say that I am not a medical professional. I am not a doctor. I am trained in first aid, and I am trained in first responder first aid, and also mountain medicine. So I will tell you that something like this at a location to where you're going to, or if you need to throw this in your car, very beneficial. Okay, carrying it might not be all that great, but it's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. This is jumpable, so what you would do is if you needed to jump from an aircraft, you could have these latched up and then cinch all this down. The bag itself is very comfortable. This is made by BLACKHAWK. BLACKHAWK always makes good stuff. Sternum straps, has all kinds of clips. It does have 4 on the outside. 1, 2, 3, 4, has 6, 5, 6 cinch straps. Okay, so they wanted this bag to make sure that no medical stuff would fall out. I'm not going to take absolutely everything out of this bag because it is stocked and it's a pain in the butt to get it in. But when I say you open the first part of it, as you can see here, it has a lot of the stuff that you're going to need right away. Alright, and I'll get into those pouches. Okay, if you flip it upright, you get even more of a better idea of what's in here. Now, this is the way I stock my kit. It's not going to have everything. Alright, I don't have a stethoscope, which of course would be nice to have. But like I said, I'm not a doctor, okay? Basic first aid, basic gunshot, GSW stuff, stop the bleeding, start the breathing, treat for shock, that kind of thing is what I'm trained for and what I'm comfortable with. I'm not doing field surgery, but there is a surgery kit in there if I come along to somebody that knows what the hell they're doing and wants to perform surgery. So, what I have up top, I have my H bandages or my Israeli bandages. I also have bleed stop bandages. Alright, this is going to be heavy bleeder. Now, I don't want everybody to get into the idea that this is just for GSWs or gunshot wounds. A lot of things happen in the forest. People fall off cliffs, they get into car accidents or motorcycle accidents. You know, people get attacked by wild animals, they get stuck in traps, they drown. Hundreds and hundreds of things. You can get hit by a fallen tree and die. Alright, so this is everything. This is the whole hospital that I'm carrying with me. Inside here I have all my clotting sponges. So this is the new Quick Clot. I have 4 of them in there. I also have my burn gel dressing. Alright, and if you're not familiar with this, people do get burned out in the wild, so have some type of burn gel dressing. What it does is it's a dressing that is full of the jelly and it won't stick to the skin, so when you go to peel it off, you're not peeling the skin off with it, and burns are really, really bad. These are all my gauze, 4" by 75". Alright, I have a whole stack of them in there. These are all my tourniquets. I have SWAT T tourniquets and I have the regular cat tourniquets. Alright, buy the good tourniquets. They have the metal windlass, not the plastic ones. I do have one cheapy one in there, which I am going to replace. But for now, that's what I'm going with. So I have 2 cat tourniquets and I have 2 SWAT T tourniquets. Alright. On the bag itself in the front, it comes with all these little pouches. There's not much you can put up there other than flashlights and stuff. I will say that what you should put in here is a headlamp. If you're going to do any type of operation, you're probably going to need a headlamp. The reason I don't have one in here now is because I haven't purchased it yet, and I use a lot of my headlamps for camping and hiking. But good headlamp, put it in here, forget about it, you're good to go. So just regular stuff, boo-boo ouch stuff on top. Now this is Neosporin, this is iodine, this is going to be cortisone 10. You know, so basic Advil crap here and there, water purification, Tums, and chapstick. All this up here is irrelevant. I just put it up there because it has a nice little strappy thing that I could put in there. Trauma shears, something to write with, and a pupil pen, alright? Pupil Light Pen. It's a little flashlight, dilates your pupils. Up here, these are all my gloves. I have a whole stack of gloves in here. I put them in a rubber band. It's real easy. I'm sorry, in a plastic bag because I don't want them all over the place. Carry as many rubber gloves as you can because they're disposable, and once they're done, they're done. Right here I have my 5x9s, a whole bunch of them. I have an H&H bandage. I have the surgical tubing, which we use for many reasons, but basically it's to cut off the blood flow for IVs and such like that. I have 4 combat bandages in here. These are the old Vietnam style, but they still work and you can get them relatively cheap. Right. Inside here I have my nasal, I want to say, I can never say that right, Nasopharyngeal Airway. Okay, nasal, it's an NA versus an OA. OA means it's for oxygen, you put it through your mouth, and this is for your nose. Now the deal behind these is if your face is completely smashed or your throat is destroyed, you have to get oxygen inside the body. You could probably try to use it with a Nasopharyngeal Airway. Okay, I have a couple of those in there, and I have some surgical gel. Surgical lubricant is going to be important if you're trying to put that down somebody's nose. Alright, I have some, these are just sterile disposable scalpels. Again, something for major surgery if I need it. Alright, so all this stuff up here, excluding this little packet over here of goodies, is basically for trauma emergency. Over here, same thing. Alright. This is a chest seal. I highly recommend these. They're a little bit more expensive, but they are the Hyflin chest seal. If someone gets shot in the chest, there's 2 of them in here. Entrance wound, exit wound. I'm not going to go into the whole discussion, but that's in there. Alright. These are abdominal pads. They're huge. 10 inch by 30 inch. Somebody has an evisceration across the abdominal and all the freaking guts are falling out. A lot of people have seen Platoon. This is what you use to make sure that their guts don't fall completely out. And I have a couple starter packs of IVs. Alright, now you can get all this stuff on Amazon. You don't need a medical license for it. I highly recommend, if you are going to get a medical pack, to make sure that you get some of these kit items. And if you don't know how to use it, get your training. American Red Cross, good to go. I don't think you're going to have to worry about it. Inside here, this is the U.S. Instrument Minor Surgeries Kit. And by the way, you know what? I'm going to put this in here as well. If you are somebody that is trained, you can use this as a surgical kit. Okay, it has all kinds of hemostats in here, some dental tools, etc. It does have a scalpel in there, but I'm going to put that one in there just so we don't lose it. And it's good to go. I don't know who would use this, but it's for minor surgeries, alright? And I'd rather have this thing and not need it than not have it. And you can see that a lot of this stuff is going to sit around for a while, but just make sure that you have some in there, alright? I have a whole bunch of 4x4 sterile pads. I have 1, 2, 3 tape, and I also have a wrap. I have 2 wraps, okay? So like I said, for a lot of reasons, it's not always the electrical tape that you're going to need. It's going to be for a bunch of other stuff. Alright, so I have that in there. I have some triangle bandages. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4 triangle bandages. Alright, if somebody breaks an arm, hurts an ankle, that kind of thing, you can use that. And of course, I have my N95 masks. You can get N100s if you like. These are just nice, compact, and they fold very, very nicely. And I keep them in there primarily to protect the person, such as you. If you are administering first aid, you really do not want somebody spitting up in your face. If you're not good with the 3M masks, you can get the surgical masks. They sell them on Amazon. They are rated for surgical. Okay, so I just threw those in there because I'd rather have something than nothing. All right. So this is my trauma section. All right. Well, wait, there's more. So now I'm going to zip this up. I'm going to zip this up really nice and tight. And I will say this is made of, I think, 1,000 denier, whatever that is. And it's awesome. It works really, really good. And I beat the hell out of these zippers, and they never given me a problem. So now on the back side, There's a couple things. You see it, the clamshell helps it tremendously. So, a couple things that we're going to go over. Now, these two spots right here do come with an insert. That's supposed to be your medical thing. Mine did not, because I bought this used. You can buy them separately if you like. There's two bags. One is going to be with a red label, red handle, and one's going to be with a I think green or blue, and that's where you would put your medical. I didn't have it, I didn't feel like buying it, so I just used the pockets, and because this is all completely zipped up, it doesn't make a difference anyway. So inside here I have instant cold packs. Alright, I have like, these are 5x9s, try not to pop them. This is my CPR mask. It's good for adults and it's good for infants. Alright, I have in here Narcan. Alright, you can still purchase Narcan. It's for anybody that's having an opioid overdose. I am trained in that. That's why I have that. Ideally, you know, somebody that's overdosing on drugs is the least of my problems if I'm bugging out. But again, if a family member, such as a child, takes something they're not supposed to, I'm pretty sure you want to save their life. Okay. I have a book in here, Antibiotic Essentials. This book is 2012. It's a little bit dated, but it basically gives information on causes, bacterias, and you can see here antibacterial, fungal, antiviral. It gives you the medicines that you would need to prescribe, or it identifies the medicines. Now, I don't carry a lot of antibiotics, and I know someone's going to say, carry fish biotics, carry fish antibiotics. Yes, you can. You can get fish antibiotics without a prescription, and you can put them in your bag. However, I'm not that savvy. I don't want to give fish antibiotics to my kid or something like that, unless it was dire circumstances. So, completely up to you, but this is the human form of all these type of ailments. So I keep that in there as a reference book, okay? I want to make sure it's good to go. Alright, I keep my Narcan in there, and I also keep my mask. Now, inside here, I'm not going to pull out, is an actual body bag. Okay, you can see this. It's a huge thing. It's US military grade, and the body bag has these huge lifting straps. Okay, you can use this as a stretcher if you need to in a pinch. Now, I don't care what you say, eventually somebody will die and you will need a body bag to carry that body unless you feel like just picking them up. It's completely up to you. I have it in here. You could also use it as a hammock if you needed to. I mean, listen, you know, if nobody dies, great. You can use it for many purposes. It's a US government unused, obviously, body bag, and they sell them in bulk, and you can purchase them anywhere on eBay or Amazon. Inside here I have a couple boo-boo ouch stuff. Alright, so I have my 2x2s. These are steri strips, excellent for closing wounds. And I have my Benadine solution swabs. Alright, that's in this little zip pocket right here. Alright, inside here I have a splint. I have my sprained kit, so if someone sprains an ankle, sprains a wrist, I have that. I have cold medication. Okay, this is for major sinuses and that kind of stuff. Now, if you want to take Dayquil, Advil, whatever you want to take with you, that's completely up to you. In my opinion, I think that if you're bugging out, your body's going to be under a tremendous amount of stress, and anything that you can do to relieve cold symptoms or help your children or your family out is ideal. That stuff expires. Once it expires, throw it out and refill it. Alright, completely up to you, but I have that in there. I have a couple emergency blankets if someone keeps somebody from going into shock. This is ideal. Now, I would prefer to get larger, bigger blankets, but these blankets work pretty good. They're small, they're compact. What you do with these is if a patient is on the side of the road, lost a lot of blood, you want to keep them warm, at least you have something. Boo-boo ouch kit, band-aids, triple antibiotic ointment. Here's a little bit more first aid cream with some burn gels, and of course I have moleskin in this little tiny pouch right here. And again, like I said, if you are somebody that is planning on walking a whole hell of a lot, you're probably going to have blisters, and moleskin you can use bandages and everything else, but moleskin will come in very handy. Alright, so we got another one right here. This is another clippable pouch, which I thought was kind of cool. Alright, so some things in here, as you can see, this is the problem with this compound. Alright, I'm going to take this out, but these are tinctures. What happens is usually these little packets, they break, and when they break, that's what happens, it leaks out. Alright, tincture of benzoin, excellent stuff, but again, keep all this stuff in plastic. This is my suture kit. Alright, so I have staples and I have regular sutures. I do have cooling cortisone cream, and what this does is it's basically a numbing agent. Alright, so that numbing agent right there will help me out tremendously. What I will say is, if you are not familiar and you don't know how to suture somebody, beware, it hurts like a son of a bitch. But I do have staples in here and staple gun, so that should help quite a bit. I also have in here a pulse oximeter. If you don't know what that is, that's to monitor somebody's heart rate. It is super small. It comes with 2 AA batteries. Right, and you just flip it on somebody's finger. It'll give you their pulse rate and everything else. I took the batteries out so to make sure that I'm good to go. All right. Again, small, adequate. Put it on Amazon. It's on Amazon.com. Check out the links below. You can find that on Amazon. All right. This is a must if you are someone that is not a doctor. If you are medically trained, that's fine. But I find this to be extremely handy. This is the Special Operations Force Medical Handbook. What's great about this is this pretty much covers everything you could ever think of in a dangerous environment: organ system failure, general symptoms of colds and sickness, mania. They even have in here how to extract a tooth, okay, if you really need to. Operational environment, seriously, anything that you would need to know. It even goes into great detail about if you are somebody that is going to the desert, it covers that. If you cover extreme cold weather, it covers that. I'm not sure if these are still available. You can find them if you look around. Now this is 2008, so obviously this is an older book, but I highly recommend some type of reference material for that reason, because like I said, if you are not medically trained and you don't know what the hell you're doing, you can do more harm than good, and believe me, you don't want to do that. So let's put this in here. Inside here I have my little cold kit. All right, my sickness kit. Inside here is going to have all my little medications. So again, I have a little bit more benzene. All right, I duct taped it, and I also put it in a plastic bag. All right, so the other swabs I threw out, but I have this. All right, this is dated, but again, diphenhydramine, which is basically if you get allergies, it's allergy sickness. Now I know a lot of people probably would not care. Oh, I don't have allergies, I don't have a problem. Great. If you eat something like a plant, or you go into the woods, you get poison ivy, poison oak, something like that, it works in multiple areas. The only thing about this is it makes you sleepy, so you got to be careful with that. I have another container of 24-hour allergy. Again, this is Walgreens. Inside here I also have a tincture of mercurochrome, Purell. I have another Neosporin. I have anti-diarrhea meds. Okay, I have Icy Hot. Trust me, this works great. I also have Vaseline, small jar of Vaseline. I have a thermometer. I have a whole container of aspirin. All right. I have some Visine for your eyes in case you get a stick or you have contacts, and I think that's pretty much it. All right, so this little medicine kit for me is worth its weight in gold in this little tiny thing. Now, it's not a lot of stuff, but it does help tremendously. Let's see if I can get everything back in here. It helps tremendously with the things or the comfort items that you think you will need. All right. Put that in there. I'll put this on the side because I already have one in there. that little medicine kit is probably what you're going to be using a lot of or most of the time. And the reason I say that is because as adults or even as kids, we're used to this comfortability factor. We're used to the fact that we want to be extremely comfortable in any environment, and we use pain medication for that kind of stuff. So that's why I keep it in there. Again, this is a great pack. And the only other thing I have in here is this is the airway. This is actually for if you were going to put a tube down the throat. Now, if you are not medically trained, do not use this. All right, this is very difficult to put inside somebody's throat. It has multiple sizes. All right, and you have to figure out what size it is. If you're doing something like that, you're probably going to run into a gag reflex. It's a very tricky thing to do. I know a lot of medics that won't do it specifically for that reason. It's very difficult to do. The nasopharyngeal tube is a lot better, and it's a lot less invasive. It's very hard to breathe if you're sticking a freaking plastic thing down someone's throat, and it can cause damage to their throat. Okay, so you got to be very careful about that. Most of the time when I've seen people put this in, the people are already on their way out. They were dead, and the only reason they put that in there is so they can attach the airbag. I've seen a very nasty car accident. The fireman and the EMS put this down a lady's throat, and she didn't even flinch, which means she was already dead. But for the sake of life saving, it was important to have it. All right, so that's why I put it in there. All right, so again, that's my kit for medical. That is the medical edition. This is what I consider to be the hospital or the traveling hospital. And for me, I find it important to have this stuff because I don't know when I'll need it or if I'll ever need it. Chances are I probably won't need it, but if I do, at least I have it. All right, get some medical training. Go to any type of first responders course is great. Go to your American Red Cross. A lot of wilderness societies right now are giving a lot of great courses on this type of stuff, and it doesn't hurt to have a hospital bag like this, or a bag that you can carry all this stuff in. Again, I know there's going to be a lot of comments on what I should and shouldn't bring inside this bag. You know what? That's great. This is my bag, and this is what I choose to carry. Now, like I said, I know I don't have everything in there. I'm not carrying an AED in there. I'm not carrying a stethoscope and a whole bunch of stuff like that. And maybe eventually I'll get that kind of stuff. But for me now, this is what I have as far as my medical bug out bag. All right? So, thank you very much, guys. Thanks for watching. If you are interested, please go up to threeriverblades.com. Check out all the great knives I have up there. I have something for everybody. Help support me, the channel, and my family. Thank you very much, and I'll talk to you soon.